Hanging out in Memphis here today with Ronnie Davis III. Mike Maresca is at the other side of the shop. He is working on something underneath the hood on one of his cars, so a lot of work taking place on modifieds here today. As you could tell, that is the small block. The motor was put in today. That was Ronnie's big job that he did today. Of course, he took a trip to Volusia with the big block. The two words he used to describe it were not good. All right, fifth in points at Brewton, fifth at Fulton, picked up a win at each. Ronnie, how we doing?
Not bad, thank you.
So what went wrong down in Volusia? I guess we'll start there.
It wasn't really there was nothing really wrong. It was pretty good. Just the results didn't show. We timed good every night. Just weird luck in the heat races and did really good in contests. Just missed it by like one spot. So it was a lot better than last year, and I think we got a pretty good notebook for next year.
Okay. And as everybody tells me, what works down there doesn't work up here and vice versa, so it's kind of its own animal?
Yeah, it's a different beast down there. It's kind of, same rules apply, but you're just kind of doing different ways to get there down there. It's a fast track. It's a different surface, nothing like what we got up here. So it's just... It's a different beast. It's Volusia.
Okay. Of course, I noticed the motor is out on the big block right now. Something went wrong, or did you notice something was wrong?
Yeah, no, we just had a seal leaking, and I was out there to get this, so I just did a swap with him, and he's just going to check it over. It still ran good. It was, a really smooth engine, so he's just looking it over, and we'll get it back here soon and get it back in the car.
Is it good that you took it down and realized you had a problem then versus, say, in 2 months?
Yeah, I guess because we got some downtime right now. But like I said, not like it was a huge problem, just something minor. And, after Volusia, that place is really tough on engines. So
I heard that.
I figured I'd just bring it out there and have them check it over anyways.
Okay, where is Gordon?
West Seneca, Buffalo.
Oh, so you had a cruise today.
Yeah.
You had a bit of a drive then.
Yeah, it's a couple hours.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So the motor came in. How long did it take you and your dad to get that done?
Well, to set it in, it's about 15 minutes. It doesn't take long at all. Especially with, no panels on it or anything. So setting it in is pretty easy. It's just, plumbing everything up, putting exhaust, carburetor, all that stuff, hooking all that together. So.
Okay. And this is the same small block we ran last year?
Yeah, at one point. Yep.
At one point? What
yeah,
point was that?
I have one that I run, throughout the season, and then when that gets lapped out around championship night or dirt week, I'll put the fresh one in and send that one back out to get freshened up. So,
gotcha. Okay, but it's the same car that we had all year.
Yeah, same
right?
car. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because the big block and the small block doesn't twist and
yeah, to an extent,
so much,
but it's
right?
nothing like a big block. They really put some wear on the chassis, so it's those tend to go through a lot more equipment than a small block will.
Are the laps about the same?
Pretty much. Maybe it's like slightly less what I do on this compared to the big block, as far as U-joints. Oil changes are about the same. I do 200 laps.
Okay.
So they're pretty similar, but, you do want to keep a close eye on a big block.
Okay. Because I also heard that because they don't turn as many R's, at least the way it used to be anyway, the big block doesn't have to be freshened as quickly as the small block. Is that still true?
Yeah, you can go a little bit longer on a big block than you do, say, one of these. A small block will start losing power around 800 to 1,000 laps is when I notice it.
Okay.
But a big block, you can usually go a little bit longer on a fresh, rebuild.
And from a math standpoint, with 35 laps and 8-lap heat race and hot laps, we just kind of go 50 an event to kind of make it, because we'd rather be early than late, right?
Yeah, it's about 50 a night, on a regular night. So that usually puts like my weekly motor, lapped out by the end of the season, championship season, So like last year, we pulled ours out the second to last night and put the fresh one in for championship.
Gotcha.
And then it was good for, dirt week and the outlaw. And
so I guess it's good the math works out like it does. I mean, if we did 20 races at 50, that would be too much.
Yeah, and I didn't
15's just under it.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't follow the small block series, so that kept the laps down as well. And a lot of guys will run Brewerton with their small block too, so that'll put their numbers up higher also.
Okay. What about, like, let's say, pegging the temperature gauge once or twice during the season to 240?
Yeah, I've done that.
Does that create a situation where at least you want to pull the pan maybe and look at the bearings?
So when it happened to us, luckily nothing was really wrong with the engine. I ran it that night and actually won with it.
Oh.
So.
And you overheated it in the heat race?
Yeah, it was hot.
Okay. What happened to heat it up that fast?
We forgot the panel in front of the radiator.
Oh, to heat the motor up.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's the second one I've heard.
Yeah.
The other one I heard they actually did hurt the motor, and it got the bearings.
Yeah, no, we got lucky. It got hot, but we cooled it down after the heat race, and I went out and won with it. So
Okay. All
Yeah,
right. So did you have it up high enough? Did you have a different? Because I know a lot of guys will put like pink on there or something
it's
so they
high
see
now,
it.
yeah.
Oh, it wasn't then, huh?
No, it wasn't. It was only about that far out of the hood.
So you just kind of, and what he's talking
I
about
didn't
too, there's a
notice it.
panel. I know I did a piece on this at one point or another, but there's a little panel they put to block the radiator off. So when you
Yeah.
fire the car up initially, it just heats it up a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
And I've often wondered what would happen if people forgot. So you don't heat up the fluids and everything beforehand with the small block?
So this we will. We got actually this plug right here. It'll heat the oil up, and then when we fire it, we use that panel to get the water temperature up, rather than like the big block that's got like a hot head on it. So you can plug it in. And it's got a little box that'll cycle the water and it'll heat it. Mm-hmm. It does the same thing as blocking it off. Just you're not running the engine to heat it up.
Yeah, and when I get to the track this year, I'll make sure I show Ronnie.
Yeah.
All right, well, at some point, I got to show you guys how to do that. But basically, that's been something sprint cars have done for a long time because they don't usually idle as much. So they push those off, they fire, go 2 laps, and then race. So it's an advantage if you want to heat that water up first. And a lot of times, you can actually look right at you have a little temperature gun.
Well, we got the gauge in there in the car, so I usually just go by that.
Uh-huh.
But we're not really too crucial on it, obviously.
Okay, so that'd be more of a sprint car thing then.
Yeah,
than a
no,
modified
they're
thing.
big with
Okay.
it. I think plus because they can't really just fire their engine in the pits.
Right.
So it's a lot easier for us to just fire it and put the panel in there and get it warm.
Yeah, they just aim it right at the radiator, and that way they know
Yeah.
pretty much what they're running
Yeah.
at this point. What's the plan this year then? Pretty much same as we've been?
Yeah, I'll still be at Brewerton with Tom and Chris, and then I'll be at Fulton with this Saturday nights.
Okay.
And then our big block will have like local shows, Super DIRTcar Series shows, Dirt Week, stuff like that.
So maybe 8 to 10 Super DIRTcar Series races, depending on
Yeah,
how
I
many
think
are
I
within
got a
like 100
total-
miles.
I think I got 15 races scheduled for that car.
Okay.
So it's a good amount.
Yeah.
It's
So
still-
between that and Brewerton, we're going to need an engine swap at some point, aren't we?
Well, so that's the whole different deal. Tom and Chris own that car. And
Oh, that's right. The
shopped
Brewerton
that out
car's
at
the
one point.
non-traveling car. This
Yeah.
is just that. So
Yeah, so
otherwise,
that-
you would.
Yeah. No, that car will last all season at Brewerton.
Does that prevent some people from traveling more in your mind?
Yeah.
It has to,
Oh, yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah. A lot of guys, it's, just like I said, weekly racing will lap out your engine. And if you're going to a Super DIRTcar Series show, it's usually like 75 to 100 laps a night. So
Yeah.
you technically need a whole nother engine just for that,
Mm-hmm.
tour. 1 or 2.
Yeah.
2 would be best because you never know what's going to happen. You could pop an engine second night out.
And that's why we see a lot of people when they get lapped just say, the money's the same, the points are about the same, just pull it in and call it a night, right? It's not like they're giving up, but from a freshen the motor and business sense, it makes sense to do that, doesn't it?
Logistically, it makes more sense for some of the guys out there. But
All right.
it sucks, but
Yeah.
if that's what keeps you racing. That's what you got to do.
That's what keeps you racing.
Yeah.
So that's all there is to it. We're going to do a second one here, guys. We're going to show you because over the weekend there was a car that caught on fire. And the fire was actually under the hood above the engine, and everybody's going, why didn't the fire suppression system go off? We're going to show you in the next video that we'll put up here pretty soon. Ronnie, I always learn something when I come here, man. Thank you very much, all right?
Thank you.
Guys, make sure to subscribe, turn on the notifications. And, we're trying to get a little busier here. We'll use a little help on some suggestions and maybe a little other to get us places. But, guys, we're back and hopefully going to have lots of fun this season.